Hurricane Matthew is taking aim at the Florida coast as the National Weather Service warns we could see effects from the storm like we haven't seen in decades. This is a live look from Daytona Beach area right now. Matthew left widespread devastation in Haiti, of course, first. A Coast Guard crews surveyed that country from the air. Haitian officials reporting at least 283 people were killed in that area.
Well, the storm downgraded to a Category 3 overnight, but it is still a very powerful storm. 2 million people along the East Coast have been told to head inland.
President Obama has declared a state of emergency for Florida, Georgia, and South Carolina.
More than 200,000 people are already without power. CBS News' Marley Hall is in Orlando with the latest on the threatening storm.
Matthew is expected to come ashore or very close to it by later today, and the Florida coast is bracing for a long day of punishing wind, rain, and storm surge. Overnight, the outer bands of Hurricane Matthew began pummeling the Florida coast with unrelenting rain and roaring winds. The storm surge from the Category 3 storm sent boats in this harbor rocking side to side.
It's really quite a sight.
Storm shutters were ripped off the front of businesses in West Palm Beach. In Daytona Beach, police were left patrolling empty streets as most residents listened to evacuation warnings.
We can rebuild homes, we can rebuild businesses. I just think of my own family, we can't rebuild a life. This storm's a monster.
Some people living on the coast who couldn't get out of town sought safety in Red Cross shelters. This one inside a school cafeteria.
They were either at mobile homes or at vulnerable places. They're heeding the call from the authorities.
Conditions here in Orlando will intensify over the next few hours. Matthew is expected to slam Florida all day with hurricane-force winds and then turn towards Georgia. The state joined Florida in ordering mandatory evacuations, reversing a lane of traffic on this highway yesterday to accommodate the exodus. South Carolina did the same as this beach bar stayed open for one last party.
We're closed after tonight. We should be good after that.
Matthew is expected to move out to sea this weekend. The last Category 3 storm or higher to hit the U.S. was Wilma back in 2005. It killed 5 people. Back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Marley, for that update this morning.
All right, time to check in with Brittany right now. She's been tracking that storm and its strength. Brittany, what's happening this very moment?
Well, yes, a lot of reports now showing Matthew downgraded to a Category 3 storm, but still very potent. And notice, it's still starting to make its impact, still in the Bahamas, but now here in Florida, we're starting to see some of those stronger bands move on shore between Palm Bay and all the way up towards Melbourne. Right now, that eye wall looking a little ragged at the moment, but it is starting to get its act together again as it's being replaced. But notice, Melbourne, the closest one the closest area rather to the center of this storm. It's about roughly 35 to 40 miles away from the eye, and it's situated to the east. But notice where this orange is, that's one of those stronger rain bands. That's where we're going to find those highest winds too. One of those highest winds right along the coast. So that's starting to make its impact along the coastline, even though the storm itself has not made landfall. Maximum winds with Matthew are sustained at 120 miles per hour. Right now it's 40 miles east-southeast of Cape Canaveral here in Florida, and moving to the north-northwest at 13 miles per hour. So still moving rather slowly. As of the 5 a.m. advisory here from the National Hurricane Center, though, kicking Matthew up a little bit to the north. By Friday today at 2 p.m., it could be out to the east of Daytona Beach and still very close to shore, but not quite expected to make landfall. Still something we are going to monitor as it moves up the coast of Georgia, near the coast of Georgia. By Saturday at 2 a.m., could possibly be downgraded to a Category 2 hurricane, and then by the time it reaches near the South Carolina coast, down to a Category 1 storm. So still those highest winds are out along the coast near Melbourne, Florida, and they are going to see those winds start to pick up later on through the day. We'll have a look in a few minutes at what we can expect locally here too coming up.
All right, thanks a lot, Brittany. Well, many people along the East Coast already fled to safety. They're actually expecting significant damage from Matthew.
Our meteorologist Rob Nucatola traveled to the area Thursday. He monitored the conditions in Cocoa Beach, and this morning he joins us live from Daytona Beach. And Rob, how's it looking out there at this moment?
Well, it was looking a little bit better about 15-20 minutes ago, and now the rain is coming down, and it's that wind-driven rain. We're at the Daytona International Speedway. We came here for a lot of reasons. One being there was really good lighting around the area, and you'd be able to see what's going on. But about 15 minutes ago, I think one of the transformers over the speedway blew. There was a big blue flash in the sky, and a lot of the lighting in the background just kind of went out, and there was a big staticky sound over some of the speakers here. Now, if we take a look, you can see the palm trees. They're moving pretty good right now, but it's not nearly as windy here as it was when we were in Cocoa Beach yesterday. And then out there on International Speedway Boulevard, which is usually a pretty busy road, when we got here last night, 7:30, 8 o'clock, it was a ghost town. Even the 7-Eleven was closed. I mean, everything boarded up and people are out of town. So I think people are definitely heeding the advice to get someplace where it's likely to be more safe. I spoke to a security guard here at the Speedway earlier this morning, and he said that the police and emergency services crews are asking the news crews to get away from the intercoastal and get away from the beaches because it's not completely safe there either. Lots to watch with this storm that looks like it wants to parallel the coast, which is great news for back home in our area. It's still about 4 or 5 hours away from being close to Daytona, so the weather here, it's going to get worse, not better. We've been seeing these squalls, these bands all night long. You get a half hour where it rains really hard. You get a couple of minutes where the winds are blowing incredibly hard. But again, yesterday on the beach, when we were out there in Cocoa, it was easily sustained winds of 40 miles per hour. Right now, we might have some gusts at that high, but I don't think the sustained winds are anywhere near as high as we felt earlier. Now, I'll expect that to change over the next couple of hours as the storm continues to work its way north and carve out quite a path. But as long as it keeps offshore like it is, that's great news for our area, and that's better news for much of the Florida Atlantic coast. We'll keep bringing you updates from here throughout the morning. Right now, back to you guys.
All right, Rob, thank you very much for coming to us live there from Daytona. Keep safe out there.
Well, the Emergency Operations Center in Tallahassee running at full force for the last 24 hours. Local, state, and federal officials all monitoring Matthew as it makes its way up the coast.
Well, Simone Davis joins us live now from the EOC this morning. And how's it looking there at the EOC?
Well, Shonda, Art, right now I am in the media press room, and right behind me, behind this wall, that's where all of the action is happening. They are monitoring this storm, like you guys have mentioned, monitoring it round the clock, making sure they're giving us constant updates. Now, last night, Governor Rick Scott spoke here, and he had some very strong words. He discussed the dangers facing millions of Floridians, and he pointed out not to take any chances with Hurricane Matthew. He also called on 3,500 National Guard members to possibly run rescue missions.
Our number one priority is protecting every life in this state. We can rebuild homes, we can rebuild businesses. I just think of my own family, we can't rebuild a life.
Now, across the state, 130 shelters have opened, and they're urging people, if you can, come out if you need a place to stay. Now, here at the EOC, they will continue to monitor this storm around the clock, making sure they give us the most up-to-date information. And, of course, as we get more information, we'll be sure to let you guys know. For now, live in Tallahassee, Simone Davis, WCTV Eyewitness News.
All right, thank you, Simone, for that report.
Well, aid from Tallahassee is already being dispatched. 27 members of the fire department in Tallahassee left for Lake City yesterday. All are members of the search and rescue team and are waiting to assist in Florida. With 10 vehicles loaded with equipment, the team is specially trained to handle search and rescue emergencies. The caravan is also self-sustaining for up to 7 days. Captain Mike Bellamy says his crew is all ready to help out, especially after receiving so much outside support last month after Hermine.
They'll be gone for 3 days, up to 3 days. So it's tough. It can be a little grueling to know that that there's still this uncertainty and leaving your family behind. But they're up to the task, and they're ready to serve and excited about helping another community out.
Now, they will be at their assigned locations for at least 3 days.
Well, 26 Florida counties are under evacuation orders right now, and for many searching for beds in our area, they are not available. Hotels and motels in Leon and surrounding counties are all booked up right now. If you're looking for a room for the next few days here, you're definitely out of luck. Checking out the hotel search websites, there's not a single vacant room available from really tonight through Sunday in the Tallahassee area. And people are fleeing, of course, from Hurricane Matthew because of the damage it could cause there at the coast. One man who traveled from Flagler Beach was one of the lucky ones to find lodging in Tallahassee. If you know of anyone in need searching for a room, they can visit floridanoT.com.
Or for those who could not find a hotel room, 130 shelters are open across Florida. Now, this map shows the ones in our area: Northwood Baptist Church in Tallahassee, New Testament Christian Center in Madison, Park Avenue Methodist Church in Valdosta is full, but a second shelter is open at Cross Point Church and First Baptist Church in Moultrie. You can find a full list of those locations on our website at WCTV.tv, but those shelters being full, it's certainly a sign that people are heeding those warnings. A lot of people. There's certainly some people still decided to stay.
Yeah, some people we know decided to stay in Jacksonville, some of our relatives, and of course other ones fled, and I guess you're putting up some folks at your place.
Yes,
a lot of people are
indeed.
doing that
Yeah.
right now just because of no hotel rooms available. So, all right, Brittany, well, how's it looking out there so far?
So far locally, things are actually pretty quiet, not too different from the norm with those temperatures in the 70s. A lot of people have been asking about potential impacts to North Florida, South Georgia, and our area. They are expected to be minimal, but we could see some breezy conditions off and on throughout the day. And of course, most of those heavier downpours and those higher winds still well to the east of our area. We'll have a detailed look at what you can expect with Matthew and the local forecast coming up next.